Good morning, Wabash. Speaking today at Pioneer Chapel is Director of Professional Development, Cassie Hagan, with her talk titled, Being an Impact Player, Ducks Fly Together. Cassie Hagan returned to campus in January of 2022 as our new Director of Professional Development and Center of Innovation, Business, and Entrepreneurship. After briefly working for the Crawfordsville Chamber of Commerce, she's a devout mom to her children, Scarlett, who's age 4, and Leo, who's 1, and called herself a career mom. Cassie is a Crawfordsville MoCo community and business cheerleader, a devout murderino and consumer of true crime media, and wants to be Brené Brown when she grows up. Her strengths are individualization, discipline, harmony, responsibility, and restoration. Please give a warm welcome to Cassie Hagan.
Good morning, Wabash.
Good morning, Cassie.
Public speaking is not my happy place. This might get rough. Please stay with me. Okay. So I want to keep things light this morning. One of my favorite parts of working in this community here on this campus is the chance to be part of a team. I love cheering you on from the sidelines. I love rooting for an underdog. I was completely retired from my athletics career by 9th grade. Like, just gauging the shock. Okay, that checks out. But I am a 90s kid, and we love a good inspirational sports movie. I grew up on The Sandlot, Rookie of the Year. Thank you. Oh my God, you've seen these movies that happened before you were born. This was gonna be really bad. Okay, Cool Runnings, my all-time favorite, A League of Their Own. Yeah, okay, thank you. Woo, all right, we can do this. I love the Wabash Always Fights spirit on this campus. It resonates with my inner 90s kid, watching Benny the Jet Rodriguez get ready to pickle the beast in a pair of Converse Chuck Taylors, or Dottie Hinson sliding into the splits to catch a foul ball behind home plate to save the league in a series of PR stunts set to a big band score. Since returning to campus this January, I can't help but notice that collectively, we look a little more like Gordon Bombay's squad in D2 The Mighty Ducks, after getting whooped by Iceland 12-1 in the Junior Goodwill Games. Our star player is injured. Coach Bombay's fame has gone to his head in LA, and he pushes the Ducks to absolute exhaustion. Team tutor Miss McKay pushes back at Coach Bombay and cancels practice. The team is squabbling amongst themselves because the OG Ducks and their new teammates never really had a chance to bond and build trust. The foundation wasn't strong enough, the leadership wasn't on the same page, and all of that talent and potential from teammates recruited from all over the nation to form Team USA were not disciplined or committed enough to pull it together in the moment of truth. Averman says, "We can't make it. Iceland is bigger, they're stronger, they have more facial hair." Let's assume the statute of limitations on movie spoilers is 25 years, okay? If you've seen any of these movies, the formula for a 90s movie means that our protagonists are about to overcome adversity, with all odds stacked against them. As the viewer, we can have hope because we can be certain that this kind of movie ends with victory. The important question at this point is that what is the catalyst for change? What moves the plot from lowest low to highest high? It's a behavior change, and it starts with one type of person, the impact players. The impact player rallies the troop. Now, this is real stuff with real research behind it. All the funny stuff aside, okay? This is real. It comes from credit to the book Impact Players by Liz Wiseman. Team USA faces Iceland again. They resort to taking cheap shots like their opponents do. The team looks completely exhausted in the locker room at halftime, and Coach Bombay, aka Emilio Estevez, drops some accountability. We're not goons, we're not bullies. No matter what people say or do, we have to be ourselves. So this is the epic inspirational turning point, okay? He points at his players. You, who are you? From where? Dean Portman, Chicago, Illinois. You, Guy Germain. From where? St. Paul, Minnesota. You, Julie Gaffney from Bangor, Maine. The 90s tension is building, okay? All of the players, they came from all over the US to be part of this special team. They stand up and rally in that moment of trial. So we're back to positivity, okay? We feel it? Okay. And I'm Gordon Bombay, Minneapolis, Minnesota. We're Team USA, and we're going to stick together. And do you know why? This is the team mentor, the old guy that sharpens the skates, okay? Because we are ducks, and ducks fly together, right? This is where the audience participation happens. Stay with me. And just when you think they're going to split apart, ducks fly together. You guys are going to get this, I know it. And when the wind blows hard and the sky turns black, ducks fly together. Up in the top, Leo, thank you. And when the roosters are crowing and the cows are turning circles in the pasture, ducks fly together. And when everyone says it can't be done, ducks fly together. I love this rally scene. After being on campus long enough to get a feel for what the unique tradition and the competitive spirit is here, when you say, Wabash always fights, my inner 90s kid hears the anthem of my people. Ducks fly together, okay? You see, our culture is to be a community of impact players. Impact players step up to lead when they're needed, and then they step back. They don't say, that's not my job, but rather, I can help with that. They make work lighter for others. They make work lighter for others. They actually make work fun. Fun. They get the work done. They finish stronger. And it's not even the work that they're personally passionate about 100% of the time. But they get it done because impact players can see the bigger picture and how the task at hand fits within the greater mission of the organization. They do the job that needs done without waiting for someone to give them authority of title to do it. When the Ducks bring in some superstar players from all over the nation to form Team USA, someone has to sit the bench. Charlie, who is played by teen heartthrob Joshua Jackson. Nobody. Not what I would have guessed, thank you, okay. Volunteers to step back because he knows he's not the strongest player. He's the heart of the team. He's the one rollerblading the streets of Minnesota with a duck call to rally the team. But he has the self-awareness to know he's a better asset helping Coach Bombay from the sidelines. He makes room for someone else to make an impact. When Banks gets injured, Charlie's back on the ice. And when Banks is cleared to go back in, Charlie steps back for his team again. He does the job that needs to be done. He steps up when needed, and he steps back down when needed. When Coach Bombay is late to the game and the Ducks are about to be forced to forfeit, tutor Miss McKay steps up. What are you waiting for, the ice to freeze? Let's play! She becomes Coach McKay with no notice, no qualifications. Team Germany's whipping us. She sees her team struggling. She looks to Charlie beside her. We look tired. We need to trade places, change players. Oh, say, change it up. Scream it. Change it up! Maybe Coach Bombay was too focused on his personal agenda to advance and beat his rival coach. Some fresh perspective when Miss McKay steps up provides the clarity. This team is tired. We need to change it up. Wabash, I'm looking around and our team is tired. Even the impact players, especially the impact players, they are burned out. They're struggling to stay positive. The Wabash I stepped away from 2 years ago is not the one that I'm looking out onto now. We need to change it up. We've been through some pretty incredible obstacles these past 2 years. Of course we're exhausted. Of course we're burned out. Of course we're frustrated. But what happened to it won't be easy, but it'll be worth it. I think our Wabash Always Fights is busted. And if we don't overcome and correct course, the super unique culture of your campus is in danger of extinction. Before I go on, I do want to give a disclaimer. I'm not promoting a culture of workaholism or unhealthy boundaries with work. Self-care and mental health are very important, and I am not suggesting that you put those on the back burner. I'm really glad to see that that's an important focus happening around mental health on our campus. But that being said, we need to fight for Wabash. Upperclassmen, I'm gonna look at you first, okay? The guys who will take over the legacy of your Sphinx Club, of your fraternities, of your athletics teams, student organizations, they've never seen Wabash at her finest. It's time for you to step up and lead. I want you to think back to the upperclassmen that you looked up to. Who helped you through something? Who inspired you in some way? What is your opportunity to make an impact? If you've been hanging out on the sidelines, working half capacity, you still have time to step up and show the underclassmen what this place is supposed to look like. You can do it in your living units, you can do it in your WISE jobs, on the court, in the classroom. Underclassmen, you guys are on the hook here too, okay? When circumstances beyond our control force change, that is the perfect time to take a critical look and decide who you want to be. What do you want Wabash to be? I love this place, and that is why I am here. But it's not perfect. And we are holding ourselves back if we can't believe something can be both excellent and imperfect. Our traditions are a major contributor to the Wabash X Factor. They're probably partly why you chose to be here. Do they all make the cut in 2022? You decide what pieces of that get to carry on, or if some of them need to evolve. And I'm not here to tell you which things should and which things shouldn't remain. I'm here to ask you to think critically, to make your own assessment, because that is an essential quality of a Wabash man. That in itself will link you with the generations before you. So, let's ride ourselves back into that epic locker room scene from D2, the Mighty Ducks. Wabash faces DePaul again after a big loss. We're in the locker room at the half. Our team looks completely exhausted, and Coach basically drops some Brene Brown on us. You're acting outside of your integrity. This isn't how we do it. We're not entitled, we're not lazy, we put team before ego. We take care of our own and we don't quit. No matter what people say or do, we have to be Wabash men. And this is the part of the film that I fantasized about reenacting here in the chapel today. I'd point out to the audience at some of the big impact players and say, "You, who are you? From where?" And Dean Jones would stand up and say, "I'm Dean Jones, class of 1987. From where? Indianapolis, Indiana." "You, how about you? Dr. Sarah Drury from Buffalo, New York." Did I get it right? Yeah. "And you, how about you? That's Amy Weir from Seymour, Indiana. And Julia Perry from Crawfordsville, Indiana." The whole team, everyone in the chapel, starts standing up on their own. "Emily Hall, Marshall, Indiana. Willie Cadle, class of 2022, Whitestown, Indiana. Caleb Gross, class of 2023, Columbus, Indiana. And I'm Cassie Hagan, Crawfordsville, Indiana." You ready? There's more participation coming. We're Wabash College, and we're going to stick together. And do you know why? Because we are Wabash, and Wabash always fights. And just when you think we're going to go back to all virtual everything, Wabash always fights. And Delta and Omicron, Wabash always fights. And when an attendance cap is put on the visiting team with a 15-game winning streak, Wabash always fights. And when everyone starts to feel like we'll never get back to normal, Wabash always fights. We're Wabash College, and we're going to succeed. And do you know why? Because we're some little giants, and Wabash always fights.